So first up, we're going to look at the Raptor. It's a small, all-round dust control unit designed for use in domestic situations or where we're working in a relatively compact area. It's a properly spec'd machine designed around the management of silica and other hazardous dusts. So inside here we have 3 stages of filtration. This is important because it makes sure that the filters last a long time. You've got a pre-filter here, which is designed to get the bulky dust out, the respirable dust. Then we have a fine filter, which is designed for getting out the visible dust. And then inside we have a HEPA filter, which is a fully certified filter and is fully traceable. These are supplied to site with a thorough examination and test, which includes the serial number of the particular filter for full traceability. This means that you've got full protection for your people. You'll get a text certificate which explains the test process that we go through to make sure that these products are ready to go when they hit site. Typical applications for these machines will be relatively small scale dust activities, local dust control if you're looking at things like wall chasing, or if you're trying to work in a relatively small area, say a reception or a lobby or domestic property. We can be looking at quite compact, quite quiet, quite unobtrusive dust control systems. When we plug it in, we've got a power light on there. We've also got filter change light, and we can just switch on and variable speed depending on our application and where we're trying to work. So the actual plastic has got inhibitors in it to stop mold growth and things like that. So the manufacturer actually recommends them for hospital use. So the Raptor is the tool of choice for short-term, compact dust control applications in sensitive environments. Now we move on to its bigger brother, which is a Dustmaster Pro. This is another machine that we have built to our spec. We've designed this from scratch. So the Dustmaster Pro, this is a development of our original Dustmaster and builds on our 25 years of experience in the industry. It's a very powerful yet quite compact dust control system. Inside here we have, again, 3 stages of filtration. Having a user serviceable pre-filter on there means that we can avoid the need to dispose of filters. We've got much less waste. Then we've got the fine filter and then the HEPA filter in behind. Again, these are all given a thorough examination and test before they come to site. This means that you haven't got the dust from a previous site which may be contaminated coming onto your site. The machines are clean and ready to go. Key applications for these units are larger dust control applications, negative pressure situations, positive pressure if you're trying to protect an area. They're actually pretty quiet bit of kit, so they can be used in occupied areas. We're not going to cause a disturbance with them. The powerful fans that we've got inside them are designed around maintaining performance against pressure. We've got a real world airflow of about 2,500 metre cubed an hour on these, designed to operate with up to 30 metres of ducting. This is our number one go-to for the majority of straightforward applications. This filter unit here, this is our Wonder filter. It's designed for use where we need more airflow and performance than the all-in-one Dustmaster Pro can give. It's designed to be very easy to use and easy to get on and off site. It tends to be paired with one of our 300mm centrifugal fans, or can be used with some of the smaller axial fans as well as required. We use them for a wide range of applications, be it feeding fresh air into a basement, controlling dust in an environment, creating a negative or positive pressure for protection of adjacent areas. These machines would tend to be used connected up with flexible ducting, and they will run the clean air to outside or to wherever you're needing to vent to. We'll have a capture hood, which is effectively like a funnel that sits right up close to where you're working to maximise the capture of dust and minimise exposure for those working around the area. We've left the filters out so you can see the size of the 3 filters. These will make sure you've got maximum space in there for dust, so you've got as long a performance as you can between filter services. These are always supplied clean to site. We'll never reuse a filter. The dangers of reusing filters are that if you end up with one site contaminating it and you take it to another site, you have no idea what's on that filter. So whilst it may seem a cost, it's actually a protection that you've got a clean filter for every hire. On these we've now included a filter pressure gauge that will measure the difference across the filters, so that as the filters start getting dirty, we'll notice that needle move. Once it reaches the flag, then it's time to initially clean the filters, and then as the filter builds up, a case of changing the filters, and we can supply with a fresh filter once it's time for the HEPA filter to be changed. And then we have the more all-in-one solutions, where we're talking about things like the Soundex cutting enclosure, which was developed from our range of Soundex noise enclosures in response to requirements for a mobile and quick to erect cutting station for site. Strip curtains on the front, they were a way up between ease of access and safety for seeing what's happening inside there, and acoustic performance. So you can walk through here with your material. So inside the enclosure we have a workbench which is designed to take the weight of a saw and materials. Behind the workbench we've got an extraction port so that we can connect that up for wood dust extraction or metal dust or fumes if we're working in here with welding or things like that. The interior lining, that is all acoustically lined, including the ceiling, so that we're not going to get any risk of reverberation in here. Along the sides we've got strip curtains. That is so that you can feed your material in if you've got longer material than your actual workspace. It's designed such that you can carry a long length in and you can aim it through the curtain on one side and feed it out the other. We also supply it with lighting, and on part of the lighting circuit we have a splitter box on the side so that you can power your tools and your on-tool extraction and your general extraction all from one supply. Two guys that know what they're doing could put this up in less than 10 minutes from the ground. You don't need any access equipment, there's no requirement for PASMA. It's not designed as a access scaffold, so everything's done from the ground. It's very easy to move around on site, being as it's on casters. 2 or 3 minutes, two guys can take one of these down. It will fit on a pallet and you can easily move it around site without having to use mechanical handling. These are a really flexible and simple, straightforward solution to a very long-standing problem on site. We've got a solution that will manage both the dust and any fumes you're creating and the noise that arises from the cutting process. So we can have all the controls in place, but if we're not measuring it, we can't be sure that we're managing it properly. We need to have a way of measuring to confirm that our measures are actually working. So there's a range of different sensors and monitors that can be used, whether we're looking at a gas or VOC sensor, whether we're looking at an area dust monitor, or whether we're looking at something like this, which is the new Pinsard DPM monitor, which is designed to measure the levels of diesel particulate matter that are in the air, to enable you to work in compliance with things like the new BS 6164 standard, and actually will measure in real time the levels of diesel particulate that are in a particular work area. Not only having a control system in place, but having a measuring system to back it up, we're actually meeting the requirements, we're actually changing people's lives. There's a big difference that we can make.